Burnout. Well, that is not the state of my tires, but the state of my mind right now. Yes, a project car can get exhausting. Anyways, welcome to episode 3 of Project Polo, and in today's episode, we are going to be focusing on the performance modifications of this car to make it go much faster than stock. But can it beat a stock Polo GTI? Well, let's find out by first starting the sound modifications of this car. But before we start, let me show you this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve The Joker. Yes, it is from the latest superhero collection from Involve. It's a fresh blue aqua fragrance. It's super easy to use because it comes with these cards which look damn awesome, and all you have to do is just hang it over the inside rear view mirror and just spray it twice to get instant freshness in the car. Smells really fresh and nice. In fact, this is one of the fragrances which is loved by almost everybody, and you can get yours with a 10% discount using coupon code FASTBEAM. Click on the top right corner of the screen right now, and all of a sudden the Polo starts smelling so damn awesome. And you might be wondering what's exactly happening. This is for the next episode, but you know, I sometimes shoot ahead and behind, but it gives you a glimpse of what's happening. But right now, first the exhaust, please. I have come to Mark Performance Exhaust to change the exhaust of this car to make it louder and also perform better. Let's start because the process is actually quite long, as there is a lot of cutting and fabrication that's needed to make a custom exhaust as per your liking. I explained to Salman, who runs Mark Performance Exhaust, about my exact requirements first. But work on my car didn't start right away, as there was a Wagon getting a free flow exhaust. Yes, it was a private car and didn't belong to Uber. The Wagon did take time and I was bored, but after waiting for a couple of hours, the Wagon exhaust was finally done. Shock badi cheese hai, and this Wagon has smoke lights, white wheels, yellow brake calipers and a rear spoiler too. It did sound nice for a Suzuki engine. Anyways, finally it was time for work on my Polo to start, for which the front wheels had to be removed and the car was put on a lift. Wait, what? Why? Well, the chassis has to be opened to access the exhaust, as the chassis is mounted around the discs at the front. The steering rod and the front suspension had to be removed too, and this was so that the OEM catalytic converter pipe that connects to the turbo could be removed without damaging it. It is replaced with a custom decat downpipe. Notice the flex pipe. It allows engine movement to prevent damage to the exhaust system. Then the whole exhaust was removed, but since time was a constraint, instead of opening the whole chassis at the rear too, which also includes removing the rear suspension and brakes, the muffler was simply cut by welding it off. The right way to install a new exhaust is to open the whole chassis, because the OEM exhaust is inside the chassis in a Polo. But since time wasn't on our side, thank you Wagon, thank you, we decided to cut the muffler because it can anyways be welded back. But you can't weld back the front part of the exhaust, because doing so will lead to the exhaust breaking apart due to the vibrations, as rewelding the front part isn't a great idea. This is only if you plan to revert back to stock. I was still keeping my options open. The lower part of the bumper was cut to incorporate the dual tip carbon fiber end cans, and then it was time for the rear assembly. Well, we are almost 90% there. Just a small part is left, and I can't wait to turn on the car and listen to the sound of the new exhaust system. And that small part was about putting all the pieces together, which involved plenty of welding. The center pipe has a resonator to make the car comply with sound norms, while the rear assembly connects to the muffler and end can, or cans in my case, due to the dual tips. Finally, my stainless steel custom full exhaust system was ready, and it was time to fire up the car. Okay, let's go! Okay, can't hear much. At idle, into first gear and off we go. Wheel spin. That's 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, slightly faster when compared to stock because of the exhaust. And the whole idea of giving you this POV experience without blabbering much is so that you can hear the exhaust sound, but it is not loud. It's very mild. It's something which I actually wanted, that not to get cop trouble, and most importantly, I actually find it a lot peppier now and a lot more fun to drive this car, because definitely the exhaust is helping here. Oh, wheel spin on upshift. On full throttle, the exhaust doesn't feel that loud. On part throttle, yes, it definitely does. Now we are in 5th gear. Now you can see the bass is there here. And there's some vibrations coming from the freaking armrest. I need to figure this out as well, because that is intervening with the exhaust sound, definitely. Driving in 6th. Now just imagine I downshift to 3rd. German cars are so well insulated now that you need a much louder exhaust, but I'll figure this out later, because there are other sounds which are going to be coming from various other parts of the car, not in terms of rattles, but definitely induction sound. And let me not break the suspense yet. So I've been told that the exhaust sound will definitely improve after around 2000 kilometers. I like it, I enjoy it, but I think it could be louder still, which it will be because of the mods I'm planning to do right now. Let's go and get it done, bro! Woo! And now I have come to N1 Racing to do all other performance modifications to my Project Polo. It's going to take 4 to 5 days. Yes, tuning does take time, because a lot is going to be changed inside this car to almost double the horsepower. In fact, first we are going to be making changes inside the hood, which is going to happen real quickly, because I have got some really awesome parts to put right inside the engine bay. Let me show you. As you can read, the products have come from Forge Motorsport. They make premium quality products to enhance the performance of your car. So what all is there? For starters, this box contains the air intake kit, and it looks really fancy. This is the conical air filter for better performance. We've got a lot of other things to make sure that the car breathes cold air. So we have a heat shield, we have, I'm just going to show it to you, because everything is simply bolt on here, which is fantastic. And here we have got the turbo inlet elbow. This is the BOV fitting kit, which is basically the blow off valve kit, which will obviously make a lot of hissing sound. Now let me quickly open it and show it to you. Feels really robust. The packaging is so freaking cool here. And everything is right here, so there's no need of doing any jugaad. Straight bolt on fit for the Volkswagen Polo. But before installing any new part on the car, Anand from N1 Racing showed me around.
These are all functional.
Yeah, Naka ducts,
We are going to the throttle body for the side.
There's some absolutely crazy builds here.
This was one of the cars built by the Volkswagen factory.
What are you doing with the 800? With the humble Maruti 800 sitting right in between. First, let's dyno to understand what exactly is the exhaust contributing to the power of the Project Polo. The car was quickly strapped. A couple of fans were placed in front of the engine. The result? 129 horsepower and 208 Newton meters of torque. This is on the crank. Remember, VW claims 110 horsepower and 175 Newton meters, and I can confidently tell you that Volkswagen underquotes the numbers. So, the dyno testing has been done, and now it's time to install the Forge Motorsport parts on the Project Polo. The stock air filter was removed, and the first thing to be installed was the Forge dump valve kit. The OEM boost pipe is made of plastic. It's the one that connects the turbo to the manifold and tends to deteriorate over time because of the engine's heat cycle, thereby becoming brittle and susceptible to boost leaks. This kit replaces the OEM boost pipe with a silicone hose which is more durable, and you can choose your color too. I chose red. Consisting of a fast responsive blow-off valve, the Forge BOV gives an incredibly loud and soothing sound when you lift off the throttle. The 1-litre TSI engine doesn't have a diverter valve, and this blow-off valve has twin piston dump valves which increase throttle response during gear changes by reducing turbo lag, which it achieves by helping the turbocharger maintain its rotational speed, keeping it ready for when you accelerate. This also prolongs the life of the turbo. By the way, I was in two minds about either going for a stock replacement performance air filter or a conical one, but I was worried about the air filter running too hot. That's where the Forge Motorsport WAG 1-litre TSI induction kit comes into the picture, as it is specifically made for the 1-litre TSI engine and its installation requires no cutting whatsoever, which means reverting to stock is easy. It's designed to flow more air for longer, and Forge claims to have seen an increase in output by 5 horsepower and torque by 8 Newton meters on the dyno. This kit consists of a washable conical air filter made of foam, a large silicone hose which has a large bore and smooth finish for optimum airflow, and is available in 4 colors, out of which I opted for red. Duh! It fits with the OEM air duct which draws cold air from around the grille, and the filter sits in a heat shield to ensure hot air from the engine doesn't get pulled in by the filter. Besides improving performance, the improved induction sound is one of the reasons why I wanted a conical air filter in my Polo. And doesn't the induction kit make the engine bay look very sporty? I have decided that the engine bay should have a red theme, which means the battery cover is red, the strut brace is red, and obviously the air intake kit that also has a red pipe, and so does the blow-off valve. But the turbo inlet elbow is black colored because they recently discontinued red color for this particular model. For other models, the Polo ones, the newer ones, you still get red. So I'm just have to probably dip this in red. No, I'm just going to stick with black. The stock turbo inlet elbow has a restrictive design which disturbs the airflow and also reduces induction noise. And when you tune the car, the stock one hinders performance, and thus Forge has removed the hollow noise chamber to increase the volume and airflow significantly. Made of reinforced multiply silicone, the Forge turbo inlet adapter is more durable than the stock unit, and because the hose has an internal stepped area to join the turbo housing, there is a greater volume of air within the inlet track to the turbocharger. In fact, some say it boosts performance by 5 horsepower. None of these parts bring the engine check light on and have been engineered for the 1-litre TSI engine. They come with lifetime warranty, and with everything installed, it was time to have a listen. And now it's time to install the bigger turbo. This is a stage 3 hybrid turbo from Much Boost. It weighs 4.5 kgs and it's going to really give this car the much needed boost. The upgraded turbocharger has an enlarged turbine wheel and is based on the original Borg-Warner turbocharger. It is thus a bolt-on replacement. Claimed to deliver 85 more horsepower over stock, it uses a custom billet compressor wheel for faster spooling, a high air-fuel ratio for high peak torque at lower speeds, and is precisely machined to give optimum performance throughout the rev range. Much Boost actually makes 2 versions of this turbo, one with a smaller fan which produces around 160 to 170 horsepower, and this is actually the bigger turbo which makes almost 200 horsepower, which means there can be turbo lag here, but we're obviously going to dyno test and verify these claims. I'm changing the turbo after doing the exhaust and intake because to get the best out of this turbo, I need to adjust these things first. But installing the bigger turbo means undoing everything. All the parts which have been put right now have to be removed so that the turbo can be installed. Then why did I install all the parts already? Just to dyno it, obviously. And the turbo is actually positioned all the way behind, which means firstly you need to open the plate right below, and then after that you need to open the exhaust. A lot of stuff has to be done. It takes time. I'm going to come tomorrow. When you see different clothes, you will realize that this guy is putting so many days to do nothing because I'm not doing it. The mechanics are doing it. The car was lifted up, the downpipe was removed, and the car was then dropped back down so that all the Forge parts that were installed a few hours back could now be uninstalled. Talk about productivity.
I am stupid.
Then after a lot of unscrewing, lifting the car back up to access the underbody and again unscrewing and then dropping the car back down and again unscrewing, we were making progress here because finally the old turbo or the stock turbo is out. It's also quite heavy and it needs a lot of cleaning as well, but since we're not going to be using it, if I was cool and rich, I would have just thrown it behind and it would have landed on the GTR, but no, we can't do that. So I'm just going to keep it down here like that. Now let's install the new turbo. No, not on the Swift because it's already turbocharged. Yes, that's a Gen 1 Swift with a turbo kit. A proper project car of a car that needs a green tax certificate now due to its age. And talking about age, these pair of old Honda Jazz cars can blow your eardrums with their loud exhaust. Anyways, back to the Polo. The new turbo was installed, looks spanking clean. And after that, the spark plugs were changed to the NGK Iridium ones. These offer a longer lifespan and higher performance by resisting overheating due to the iridium tipped center electrode that is 6 times more long lasting than platinum. It basically ensures consistent and reliable starts. Now it was time to call it a day. The only thing left was the tuning, and there are actually 3 stages of tune. Stage 1 is the most basic, consists of a remap with no other changes. Stage 2 is like mid-level, consists of a new intake and exhaust with a more aggressive map. Stage 3 is changing internals, like a turbo or ECU. It's the most tuning your engine can possibly take. I'm back at N1 Racing after a week because I had to travel for a lot of shoots and the car had to be tuned, which is a time-consuming process because after the turbo was installed, they obviously went and logged the car, sent data to Superchips in the UK, and then they sent maps and then they kept testing it. In fact, this car has been dynoed 20 times in the past 1 week to finally come to a map which is amazing. In fact, this car produces stellar horsepower right now, which makes me really happy. But how happy? Well, to find out, I myself dynoed the car. The result, a peak power of 190 horsepower and a peak torque of 290 Newton meters on the crank sounds like wow, because it is, and this is on 95 octane. If I opt for 100 octane, I can easily push 200 plus horsepower, but getting 100 octane everywhere isn't easy, so I will stick with this for now. Okay, let's test the 0 to 100 km/h acceleration of this car. Revving the motor and off we go. A little bit of wheel spin. Come on. Okay, it does 90. Oh, the cracks and pops. Oh my goodness, they're absolutely insane. So it does 97 km/h in second gear. So I need another shift to get into third, which is a bit of a problem because there is lag low down. There is considerable amount of turbo lag. Okay, a lot of dogs barking here. Let's do it again. Revving the motor. Okay, let me reset this. Okay, that's 0 to 100 km/h in 9.23 seconds because I'm not getting the perfect launch. However, I did it in 8.48 seconds in the morning. Revving the motor and off we go. Wheel spin. Come on. That's 0 to 100 in 8.5 seconds. I didn't get the perfect launch because I think the cooling system needs to be upgraded. But let's quickly talk about the performance of the car. Firstly, it feels really nice to drive because of the exhaust and obviously the hissing from the blow-off valve. So I lift off, there it hisses, which is so nice to hear. However, the tune has been done in a fantastic way because below 4000 RPM it doesn't make much sound. Okay, I put pops and cracks and all those things. However, those are not audible at all lower down below 4000 RPM. It's past 4000 RPM. When I lift off, I hear a lot of pops and cracks, and that is absolutely satisfying to hear. So you can see it's very mild. The sound is like super mild here. It's just when you push it really hard, why am I going around the circle? I don't know. Anyway, so when you really push it hard and fast, now that is when you hear a lot more from the exhaust and the pops and cracks. Otherwise you don't. So here, look, I am pushing it. Okay, we are in second gear. Now the pops and cracks and bangs. Oh my goodness. Yeah, lift. Oh. That's so freaking amazing. So basically, without changing any mode, I can myself control how much sound and pops and cracks I want coming out of the exhaust by simply staying under 4000 RPM. So when you launch it aggressively, you obviously feel there's a lot of turbo lag because this is a big turbo. But trust me on this, when you drive it short shifting without the whole idea of going full throttle or going pedal to the metal, you actually enjoy driving this car even under 3000 RPM. So I shift around somewhere here 2.5 3000 RPM and the car does just fine, because at the end of the day it's about having fun. Now you can't keep redlining all the time. So here we are into first gear. Let's launch it. A little bit of wheel spin. Oh, a lot of wheel spin. Come on. It really wakes up after 4000 RPM and 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 8.5 seconds. So I think ballpark it will go around 8.4 to 8.5 seconds, which by the way is slower than the Polo GTI, because the Polo GTI makes similar power, 192 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque. This is making somewhere similar, 189 horsepower. So almost there. However, there is no replacement for displacement because that is a 1.8 TSI engine, which obviously is super duper awesome. And it has a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox, because of which it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7.2 seconds, which is 1.3 seconds faster. The problem here is the turbo lag. There is quite a lot of it because I opted for the bigger turbo because I wanted to get more power, which is fine because it's not about just going from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour and just breaking records here. It's about having fun. In fact, this is faster than the Slavias, the Virtuses of the world, stock ones obviously, which is quite amazing because we are going faster by around 1.5 seconds compared to stock. And now let me come into third. Are you guys ready for it? 3, 2, 1. I love the way the exhaust pops and cracks, but I'll tell you genuinely, you can't drive pedal to the metal all day. So how am I going to drive usually? I'm going to shift around 3000 RPM and then you don't really feel the turbo lag, because here I'm shifting here. Yeah, and there are no pops and cracks as such because they only come after 4000 RPM. So yes, car feels really sprightly because of the manual gearbox. But if you want a real fast tuned Polo, get the automatic, because an automatic can shift much faster, launch better. There's no traction control here, so obviously some amount of wheel spin also happens. And bro, you look right, look left and then cross. What are you doing? In first gear, let's do the pops and cracks. It's so much fun. But trust me, if you want a nice sounding car, don't get a 3-cylinder engine car, because 3 cylinders just can't make the sound that a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder or a 8-cylinder or a 10-cylinder or a 12-cylinder or even a 16-cylinder can make. Yeah, it feels a bit muted. It doesn't have that raw bassiness to it. Obviously the exhaust sounds much better than stock, but then there is absolutely no freaking replacement for displacement. But then no worries here, because obviously things have been done on a budget, and for the kind of money I've spent, I have got real bang for the buck. Okay, I failed. I couldn't beat the Polo GTI, and there are a lot of reasons for the same. Firstly, there's no replacement for displacement, and there is no replacement for a fast shifting gearbox. Obviously, a 7-speed DSG is way faster than I can manually shift, and that's one of the major reasons why the Polo GTI is still 1.5 seconds faster than this car. Okay, not 1.5 seconds, around 1.3 seconds, but still that is a lot. But then there are certain things which need to be upgraded on this car still, and that's the thing with tuning and modifications. It's a never-ending process. So I think the cooling can be better. So probably I'll get from, say, the Kailak or the Kushak or the Slavia 1 liter and put in this car so that the car can cool better. And in order to have a consistent charge, I need to update the coils as well. And then I think we should also get a boost gauge so that we can monitor what is the turbo pressure all the time. And that's not all. I have a lot more to do. Probably get a short shifting 5-speed or a 6-speed manual gearbox so that that lag is not there, because I see the car is going really fast till almost 97 kilometers per hour, and then I have to shift to third, and that turbo lag comes in, and because of which the car is slower by almost a second. And if we fix that, I think this can easily knock down 1 second from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. But currently the target is to go sub 8 seconds, and if I'm able to achieve that, well, great, I'm going to keep this car and the engine. If not, then we are going to swap for a 1.8 TSI or maybe a 2 liter TSI as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. And a big shout out to all the partners who have helped me get this car up and running so quickly, and also this lovely cap which has been given by Polo GT Club Mumbai. It looks cool, and Forge Motorsports send me this amazing hoodie which also looks fantastic. I will see you in the next video real soon, where we'll be doing practical mods, cosmetic mods, and a lot of other mods which I have not touched, because you guys would be like, ye to racer nikla. Now the car is fast. Now I can make it look fast as well. Bye bye.